Yo, what is up, you guys? Barokoshama here with another Elemental Shaman video. We are doing another overview and impressions of the latest build changes for the Elemental Shaman, and there are some really good ones. Let's get into it. But before we do that, I just want to mention you guys can check me out on my live stream at twitch.tv/Barokoshama. That will be in the links down below, along with the links to my social medias, Twitter and Instagram. And if you guys want to see more Elemental Shaman content, slap that like button, hit that sub button, and, you know, just to subscribe for more Elemental Shaman content. And, you know, hit the bell notification button for when I actually go and release new content, so you guys can be there for the first one and type first in chat and be all cool like that, right? Alright, let's get into it. So, there's changes. We're going to go through a lot of it more smoothly this time around, just because I understand exactly what you guys are trying to look for with this new series that I'm putting out. We're going to go over all the talent changes, what they mean. We're going to cover single target, AoE, and fun stuff like that. So, let's talk about it. Aftershock, it's been remade. Your spells have a 30% chance to refund the Maelstrom spent on them. This includes Earthshock, this includes Earthquake, this includes Frost Shock. It's amazing. It's the boots on steroids. It's the Deceiver's Blood Pact legendary boots on steroids. I love this change. I've gotten like 5 back-to-back Earthshocks and Earthquakes in a row, and you're just doing an insane amount of damage for free. I mean, yes, it's RNG. A lot of people don't like that, but I really do like this change. I think it's a lot more consistent, actually, than it would seem, because 30% is actually a very high percentage rating. Alright. Let's see. Cloudburst, Crashing Waves, Deluge. Earth and Shield got a little bit of buff. Earth Shield got a little bit of buff, so this one is definitely one of the stronger talents out of that level 30 talent tree. For survivability, I do like using it when I'm questing. We'll see how well that holds up when it comes to dungeon and raid contents, but as far as that goes, it's actually very nice. Earth and Rage. Your damaging spells incite the earth around you to come to your aid for 6 seconds, repeatedly dealing 13.75% of spell power, nature damage to your most recently attacked target. Elemental Shaman. That talent got moved from the 15 talent tree to the 90 talent tree. I still don't understand why this is in the game. It sucks. It's on the same talent tree as Primal Elementalist now, and that's a terrible decision. I'm going to speak my mind about this, but this is bad. I don't like this. I don't know why it's still in here. Give us a new talent. Give us Gust of Wind back for utility or something. Like, this talent sucks. I've tried using it. It doesn't even compare to Primal Elementalist in the slightest, and it's just bad. So let's move on. Echo the Elements. They now gave this to Restoration, so I guess that doesn't really apply to us. High Voltage. One of the best changes for this this build. They allowed Chain Lightning to come back into the fray with High Voltage. So now your Lightning Bolts and Chain Lightning can now cause a second Elemental Overload. This was also moved to the tier 60 talent tree, or tier level 60 talent tier. This is amazing. Like, you gain so much Maelstrom faster. Yes, we only gain 3 Maelstrom per target hit, but it has a chance to cause a second Elemental Overload, which is fantastic. Could you imagine this with Stormkeeper? The current Stormkeeper, when you use it, your next 2 Lightning Bolts or Chain Lightnings will trigger an Elemental Overload on every target. Could you imagine how strong that is with High Voltage? That's very freaking strong, okay? That is very freaking strong. That makes Stormkeeper a very valuable choice when it comes to AoE content. Ice Fury was moved from the level 30 talent to the level 90 talent. This still isn't good enough for me. Because yes, we can play Ice Fury with Echo the Elements now to help gain Maelstrom fast enough, and yeah, like, we can work with that, and it works really nice with Aftershock because you have a chance for those Frost Shocks to refund their Maelstrom. But the Frost Shocks are still hitting way too weak for this talent to become viable. It's going to be very strong in PvP just because it's going to be a separate type of spell that we can cast so that we don't get nature locked or fire locked as often. So getting frost locked isn't going to be that bad, but I still don't agree with it. It's not a very strong talent. It's pretty much just sitting for PvP. Yeah, let's move on. Master of the Elements. Your lava bursts increase the damage of your next nature or frost spell by 20%. This could work well with Ice Fury because they're on different talents trees, but this is on the same talent tree as Aftershock, and we all know Aftershock is freaking crazy right now, so why would we run after the Master of the Elements, right? So yeah, it may have its own place in the future, but as of right now, this build, Master of the Elements is kind of lackluster. Nature's Guardian. It's just baseline Shaman now. I guess every spec has this talent, which is good, because whenever your health is brought below 35% health, you are instantly healed for 20% of your maximum health. Cannot occur for once every 45 seconds. This is just like an instant health stone, which is fantastic. I love that. Let's move on. Totem Mastery was moved to the 30 talent tree. Again, this is in line with Aftershock, so I don't really see a point in running this because Aftershock is just so strong. It's going to get nerfed, unfortunately. But yeah, that's just what it is. Totem Mastery was moved to level 30 talent tree. Let's move on. Unlimited Power got changed. It no longer stacks up to 5 times. It stacks infinitely, but there's probably not very likely that you're going to get 10 plus stacks within those 10 seconds, unless you're getting a crap ton of Chain Lightning overloads, which is possible with Stormkeeper, except this is on the same talent tree as Stormkeeper, so that's not possible. So never mind. Does Nature's Guardian work as cheat death? No, it does not work as cheat death. If you take more than your health damage, you will die. Unlimited Power, yeah, I mean, like, it's really strong for a single target if you have high mastery ratings. I'm getting to the point now in game where I'm actually getting a decent amount of mastery rating, so 43%. This is the point where I'm actually, like, seeing high amounts of stacks from this, and it's becoming useful, especially because the gear that I'm getting is very crit heavy and very mastery heavy, so I'm losing a lot of haste. So I have like the time, or like the actual make up for that lost haste with this talent tree if I'm going in a single target situation. So it is nice. I'm glad that they removed the cap. Still upset with the gaining a stack does not refresh the duration. I wish this just added a second up to a certain amount. That's my opinion. I mean, that would definitely fix this issue. Maybe later on in the game, when we have crazy amounts of mastery, if mastery is that strong this expansion, this will be very, very useful. But as of right now, leveling up, it's kind of lackluster. You're not going to see very much use for it. In fact, you're probably going to be going with Stormkeeper to be more steady. Leveling up currently on the alpha, then Unlimited Power until you get 40+% mastery. Let's move on to one of the biggest changes. Earth Shock instant shocks the target to concussion with concussive force. Oh my god. Causing 250% spell power. So they increased its damage by 100%. They doubled its damage. You guys may not understand this yet, but this is ridiculous. I mean, an extra 150 or 125% spell power. The amount of crits that I'm seeing from this is blowing my mind, because I've done sims in dungeons, I've tested a lot, and I've kind of come up with a talent build that really complements this change a lot. You couple the Earthshock change with the Aftershock change, and you can get out some ridiculous numbers. Lava Burst generates 8 Maelstrom now. I mean, that's they kind of just like fix its tooltip. That's not really a big change, but let's just get into the game so I can actually show you guys how massive this is.
So I will go over the gear that I have currently, actually, and then we'll go over the damage that Earthshock's potential can do. So crit's at 18%, mastery's at 43%. Here's my trinkets. Trunksy, he got rolled up, so now he does like an insane amount of damage at 278 item level. And then I have Petula's Locket, which gives me more mastery and gives me more stats when it procs. And this procs extremely often. They did do a slight change to our Azurite armor. They increased the damage of the volcanic lightning. They increased the shield rating of resounding protection. But they kind of got rid of the level 10 Heart of the Azeroth unlock. So now you can get this increased item level by 5 sooner, which is nice, I guess. Still, Volcanic Lightning is the only one that you would be going on this row. The shield is a lot more, I don't know, consistent than the Vampiric Speed. But I digress. Let's get into the actual fight of this. So that was my damage. We're going to go over... Yeah, we're just going to fucking do it. Let's go. So Trunksy just crit for 15k. So he's a strong trinket. Let's refresh Flame Shock. Gaining Maelstrom. I didn't get a crit there for that Earth Shock. That's okay. Let's see about this one. Nope, didn't get a crit there. That's okay. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going until we get one. Didn't get a crit there. I have low crit rating, okay? Have patience. Wait for it. Oh my gosh. But I got an Aftershock proc, so that's okay. There it is. 18k crit. And you saw before that, I had an 11k crit from my Lightning Bolt. I have another Aftershock proc there. I'm going to get rid of these. So you can see that you're actually doing crazy amounts of damage with Earthshock. Right now I'm 118, so obviously you're not going to be doing this much damage at lower levels. Like, you can definitely crit for 12k at a fresh 110 on the server. So with that in mind, like, that's really strong. There it is again, 18.226k crit. Like, this thing, I mean, Earthshock's definitely gonna get nerfed. This is way too strong. I'm Earthshocking too often for this to be a viable change in respect to other classes. 18 point, and then there's another Aftershock. So like, I'm able to Earthshock a lot more often because of Aftershock. Could you imagine using the boots while leveling? Because right now on the alpha, using the boots, the effect stops after like 115. Oh, Trunksy, you really hit him hard there. The effect stops after 115, so you can get back-to-back boots procs and Aftershocks, which is very insane. So I just want to let you guys know about that. But after 115, you obviously have to take off the boots, which is a little sad. But so I showed you guys what single target looks like. We can go over logs. Actually, because the dummies over in Stormwind, the AoE dummies in Stormwind are like really shitty, and they're lower level. The damage numbers are going to be skewed. But nothing much has changed from the last video that I put out for AoE. So what I'll do actually is I'll log over to my Horde Shaman, talk about these changes over there, because he's an Ogremar and there are obviously training dummies there. Legendary scale up to level 116. No, they cut it at 115. Even though they scale up to 116, the effects stop at 115. So we're in Ogremar. I'm going to change my talents. Primal Ellie. Look at all these people. Exposed elements, Aftershock, high voltage. I don't want to play Storm Elemental. I don't want to play Luca Bagba Totem. High voltage is just way better. I'm pairing that with Stormkeeper.
Now, you're not going to be able to see the damage, but I just want to show you guys what it kind of looks like, right? So, it's kind of like a left side. Problem Elementalist offers a very unique spell with the Keybind Control 6, where when you summon your Fire Elemental, actually, he will transform into a Fire Meteor and then just fuck over the targets, like just deal a shit ton of damage. But let me show you guys what this looks like. Isn't exposed elements bugged again? No, it's not bugged. It still does 200% increased lightning bolt damage. Maybe for AoE we're probably going to use Elemental Blast, so let's switch over to that as well. So let's do this. I just want to show you guys the power of Aftershock, because you can get multiple earthquakes out. I just want to show you guys when that procs. I am expecting Aftershock, right? Yeah, I am. Where is it? Hold on for a sec. Okay, it's not proccing right now. Nope, it's not proccing. Okay, so the point is you're seeing a lot more elemental overloads with Chain Lightning because of high voltage, which is nice. So we're gaining more Maelstrom faster for earthquakes, which doesn't really make Earthquake that... Okay, here's some procs. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 Earthquakes back to back. And I spent Maelstrom on 1. There's some more procs too. 2 Earthquakes back to back. So it's a little RNG when it comes to AoE, for sure. I mean, it's RNG in general. But it's nice. It's fun. You know, there is some fun with RNG that a lot of other classes don't have with this kind of thing. When it comes to logs, I'm going to show you guys actually. Let's go over logs. This was an AoE trash pack. Was it an AoE trash pack? No, it was not. This is all encounters. Okay. Let's go trash fights. This is all the trash fights for the dungeon that I was in. It's that pirate dungeon, okay? This is fantastic, okay, because I'm beating out an enhanced shaman. They're not very well known for their AoE, but I want to show you guys what the damage breakdown is from this. Earthquake is doing an insane amount of damage because of Aftershock. I'm able to put out so much numbers for this. Chain Lightning Overload is beating out Chain Lightning, which means Static Overload. That is what it's called, right? High Voltage, sorry. I keep calling it Static Overload. It's pretty much Static Overload, but like less cool. Static Overload is doing numbers for Lightning Overload. Chain Lightning Overload damage. Chain Lightning is still doing good. Flame Shock. On 3+ targets, I actually like to keep Flame Shock up on all 3 targets. It seems to be doing a crap ton of damage, so I think it's worth the GCD for sure, and the uptime. And then obviously Lightning Bolt Overload. This is for all the trash packs in the dungeon. So you can see that there. I also want to show you guys what boss fights look like. 3.6k steady damage. Beating out an Enhancement Shaman. Beating out an Affliction Warlock. This is one test, right? So, like, it's not going to be across the board better than all specs. I have tons of testing still to do. I'm probably going to be releasing more videos down the line for sure. Let's look at the damage breakdown. Earthshock. I casted it 7 times in that fight. It did 38.1k. $38.1 divided by 7. On average, they're hitting for 5.4k. Obviously, they're critting like sometimes and like... Wait. No, go back. Critical hits. So, min, max, average 4.5, like we said. Critical hits are around 10.8k. Average... This is at 110, remember. So, everything scales down in dungeons to 110. Could you imagine what it's going to be like at max level? I mean, I'm critting for 18k already, 19k sometimes when I have trinket procs. You can read the average there. You don't have to do the maths by yourself. Yeah, I know. I forgot about that though. Let's see. Lightning bolt overload for single target damage because we're casting so many lightning bolts. With high voltage giving us more elemental overloads. Our lightning bolt overload is going to be doing on par, if not more damage than our regular lightning bolts, okay? So the average, again, at level 110, 1.7k, max 2.4, and then the crits are 2.1. Because it's an elemental overload, it's going to be less crit, obviously, than a normal hit. So we'll go down to what this looks like. Lightning bolt. Max crits are 7.4k. This is probably with exposed elements, so that may be skewed a little bit. Again, this is at 110, so my max crits for 118 on my dwarf shaman were like 12k, which is very, very nice. Because we're casting so many earth shocks and so many lightning bolts, exposed elements on that tier talent tree is like, I think, the best one anyway. Okay, and then Fire Blast from our Fire Elemental. This is going very well. Can I see summary again? What talents I was running? Is that possible? No, because it's not a ranking, eh? Yeah. I will say I was running Primal Elementalist for sure, because Earth and Rage isn't part of the damage there. High Voltage for sure. I was running Exposed Elements and Aftershock. So this is the talent setup that I was actually running, unless I have buffs. Let's go to my buffs. No, I was running Stormkeepers, so you can see that here. I was also forgetting to use it because I only used it once. Yeah, so that's like kind of like the damage breakdown, guys. If you want to see another boss fight, Lord Sweetie. Summary. There's another one, 3.9k DPS. We'll do another damage breakdown. All Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt Overload, Lightning Bolt. Like, you're doing an insane amount of damage. It's not as boring as the previous build, which is nice to see. It's really cool to see those big hitting crits from Earthshock. But it's not Legion Elemental Shaman, right? Where the RNG is fun, you're going to Ascendance, you're spamming Lava Bursts, you can play Frostquake and stuff like that. I don't really have many gripes with this. With these changes, in my opinion, Earth and Rage should just be taken out. It's a garbage talent. It doesn't compare to Primal Elementalist, nor does it compare with Ice Fury. What they did well this time, obviously, Blizzard, you did very well with buffing Earthshock. We needed that, of course. Aftershock change is very nice. I like that as well. Let me see. Unlimited power is still a little lackluster if we don't have mastery. We already talked about Earth and Rage. I haven't yet used Ascendance yet because I find that this doesn't have a place because of exposed elements, because of Aftershock. If I was going to go out of exposed elements, I would probably play Elemental Blast and then Ascendance. And then just have like crazy amounts of Earth Shocks. Like, we can play this too. I'm going to be doing a lot of testing in the future. But currently, I'm loving Ele Shaman on the alpha. Hopefully you guys will have the chance to gain alpha access as well. and join me here for some more Elemental Shaman content. Like it if you like the video, subscribe if you want more Elemental Shaman content, like I said. Because I fit everything into this one video, I'm not gonna have to make 2 separate ones, which is fantastic for AoE and stuff. But there's not much different for AoE come this build, right? So this build was released yesterday on April the 13th. Now the 14th, releasing this video. Anyway, I digress. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.